Hey everyone, it's Caleb Ramsay, your Triple C Realtor. As a reminder, Triple C stands for clarity, compassion, and confident execution. All things I strive to provide my clients every day. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the buyer's guide on my website and show you exactly how to use it to make smart, stress-free decisions when buying a home in Los Angeles. So if you're even thinking about buying in the next 6 months, this guide will save you time, money, and unnecessary stress. You ready? Let's jump in. All right, here we go. So this guide is built for three types of people. One, the first-time home buyer. Two, anyone moving to LA from another location. And three, somebody who's done it before but wants to do it just a little bit better this time. Maybe you didn't have such a good experience in your first purchase and are hoping for a little more clarity, a little more compassion, maybe some confident execution in the end of the day. So let's walk through this here. This is my website. Thank you. Welcome. I hope you love the way it looks. We're going to go to Guides and Resources, scroll down here, and click on Buyer's Guide. This will take you to a detailed description of the Buyer's Guide, help walk you through. In our first little overview here, this is how just a general overview of the fiduciary responsibility a real estate agent has to you as a client. When we sign a buyer compensation and broker agreement, that is a state law requirement, by the way, that establishes an agency relationship between us. All agency relationships have to be in writing in order to be recognized in the state of California. So we will be signing those if I represent you, which I hope I get to. And this just kind of goes over, generally how we make that together. Here is the home buying journey. Step number one, get pre-approved. So step number one is getting pre-approved. Before we even start shopping, before we even start setting you up with anything else, the first thing I'm going to have you do, if you're financing your home, is reach out to a lender. We have multiple resources available if you don't have one. Lots of great people we work with at the Stout team. But if not, I'm happy to, or if you do, great. If you're buying cash, we can skip over this one and go right on to number two, but let's stick on number one for right now. I want to talk about the difference between a pre-approval and a pre-qualified. A lot of people get, oh, well, I've got a pre-qualified letter from a bank. That's not going to cut it, unfortunately. That doesn't take into consideration all the details needed in order to get pre-approved. You want a specific dollar amount and how much you're going to put down and all these other things in your pre-approval letter. Why is it important? It's really helpful to know your true budget. A lot of people think they can afford this or can afford that. And in fact, you can find out you can possibly afford more or maybe it's less. You're never sure. The best way to find out is talk to a lender and get this pre-approval letter. The other big benefit is when we go to submit offers, nowadays, 9 out of 10 sellers are asking for this ahead of time with your offer. So if we have this already in place and we start looking and you find something you like right away, we're ahead of the game and we can submit that pre-approval letter with our offer. It strengthens your offer. It makes you look like a serious buyer, which you want to stand out when you're submitting an offer, especially in a competitive market. Yeah, and here a little pro tip. Yeah, sometimes a pre-approval letter can beat a higher offer. And sometimes cash offers. You'd be surprised. Now we're going to move into step number two, is where we define your goals, aka your wish list. So this part may sound simple, but it's really the foundation, and we want to make sure we spend a lot of time on here and really be clear on identifying what it is you want with your new dream home. So, things from like, where do you want to live? What's your price range based on what we talked about with your pre-approval letter? What are the must-haves? And then what are the nice-to-haves? Things like, bonus features, pool, game room, the solar on the roof or whatever. Things that are more functional and style preferences. And then another, then we can create a clear game plan based on this information, based on your goals and your wish list. And I have actually created a buyer intake form that you can fill out that helps you answer all of these questions. Really step-by-step process of going through and getting those fine details answered out. So the next part, so once we've defined your goals, we know what you can afford, we know what we're looking for, now we start the search. This is the fun part. I love this. I can look at homes every day, all day. It's one of my favorite things to do. But we really defined your criteria. We don't want to waste your time going by and looking at homes that don't meet what it is you're looking for. So we want to make sure we're really specific. And what I do is I use a tool called ZenList, which I'll have another video in my library for you to check out on how to use ZenList. It's a wonderful tool, very similar to Zillow, but it actually gives me access to the agent information and lets us set up tours for the properties you favorited and saved. Part of the search is going through and looking at the property. So once we find them, we get our list, we start touring them. And it's also talking through some of the things that you're seeing at these properties, giving you my candid feedback, and then guidance on what's a smart buy, what makes sense, what it meets your criteria. And I'll always help you circle back, like, hey, remember you said you were really looking for this? Now things change. We can pivot, but we want to make sure we stay focused on your goals. And the thing we always remind people, no home is perfect. You're always going to find something that's missing something. So we want to make sure that we find something that meets as much, if not most, of the things you're looking for. Now that we've gone through the search process and you've found a one or maybe two properties that are at least a 7 out of 10 on your scale of 1 to 10 list, we want to start making offers. So making an offer, this is where strategy really matters in Los Angeles. Having somebody on your side, representing you, defending you, fighting for you in the offer submission process is key. Somebody who's experienced with submitting offers on these properties and working with agents and getting these offers approved, accepted, not just approved, but accepted. We don't want to waste other agents' time. We want to make sure that we're filling out all the forms properly. And I also want to make sure that you understand those forms properly. So the first step we do is the pricing. Now, where do we think it's at? And we use comparative market analysis and true up to the minute data on where the pricing is at. It's not exact science, but it does help us make a more informed offer based on what's happening right then and now in the market. A factor in the offer process is guiding you through the emotional aspect of it, whether it's your offer didn't get accepted, and like, okay, let's talk through that. What did we learn? How did we grow? How did we gain from that? Or if once it is accepted, what are the next steps? Which that takes us through to the inspections and due diligence. So hey, congratulations, your offer is accepted. Woo! This is a pivotal moment in the buying process. Your emotions will be running super high. And you're going to go through all the roller coaster, in fact, from excitement and then to, oh my gosh, what did I just do? What am I getting myself into? All of those things are natural. Everybody experiences them. And I'm here to just kind of guide you and walk you through that, right? So I consider me your guidance counselor, camp counselor Caleb here, another triple C. So we dig in, the first thing that you're going to want to do after your offer is accepted. There's two things, but the first one, earnest money deposit. So you have 3 days. If we're financing, typically you have 3 days to give your earnest money deposit, which is 3% of the purchase price. And so we'll want to get that wired over. So that's another thing, going back to being prepared to that. When we're getting close, we're searching, we're submitting offers, we're going to ask you, hey, is your finances in order? Do you have enough money in a bank account that you can be able to wire right away if your offer gets accepted? Then we go into inspections. The inspections you will pay for. I have recommendations. You can choose anybody you want. You can do a Google search and say home inspectors. You can take the ones I choose. You can ask for the seller if they have recommendations. I always recommend talking to at least three and then having them go in and do a professional home inspection. Then we will walk through and look at that inspection and see what's important for you to have um, done or not. This is where more negotiation can happen, and you usually have a particular time period uh, to get your inspections done. This is negotiated in the offer. So in the contract that we submit, we negotiate this time period of how long you have those inspections for. So we either have plenty of time or you have a really tight time frame. I like to give everybody at least 10 days because it takes about 5 days to get the first one. And if you need more inspections, so the first one, hey, Caleb, what do you mean? Why do I need more? First one's a general inspection. That person can come back and say, hey, you need to you need to have a specialist come in and inspect. That specialist might be roofing, structural, fireplace, not typically anything, but maybe fire life safety specialist. So you'll want time for those other inspectors to come back in. One other thing too is walking you through the inspections is going to be, sometimes a 50-page report, and it's very detailed. Sellers often are blown away by the inspection reports and they feel bad about their property, but it's common. It's something we can help walk you through. Okay, so one other thing to talk about. So say the inspections come back and you say, hey, there's a couple things I'm okay with, but there's some things that I'm not. What do I do? Well, you can ask the seller to repair them or credit you for the cost that it will take you to repair them. Both your choice, either way, and the seller has the right to say yes, no, or let's give you an alternative option. This is all part of negotiations that go back and forth between this buyer and the seller that the agents help navigate. So let's say you get through the inspections, you get through the appraisals, you get through all of the fun stuff, and you're ready to close. We get down to that. There's a whole process. And I am there for you during this entire time. But a lot of times, if you're financing, this is where the lender will really step in and be your prime lender and escrow. So you'll have escrow, title, and the lenders really will step in during this time period. They will be the main points of contact that you'll be dealing with, but I will be there by your side during that process, making sure that they're, maybe the conductor or the director, making sure all of these players are doing what they're supposed to do, and you as well, because it's really up to your responsibility to give them all of the things they need to help us finalize this transaction. So once you finalize that and we're getting ready to hand over the keys, if you need anything else, you need a contractor, you need a moving vendor, you need somebody else to do something simple, hey, we need a gardener, I need a pool man, I need all that. We have resources available to refer those people to you, or help you screen those and ask them the right questions before you hire them to help take care of the place. So yeah, that's really the high level view of my buyer's guide. I have a lot more specific details that we will go over. There's a lot more market specific things that we could talk about once we look at specific markets in LA and the greater Southern California area. If you want a personalized luxury style plan, my contact information is in my bio. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm always available for you and my clients. If you know anybody else that's considering moving to Los Angeles, please feel free to share this with them. Thank you very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.